Hi, I'm Mary Bourne. I'm a traditional naturopath, and I love sharing natural remedies with people. Natural remedies have been around hundreds, even thousands of years because they work. The importance of the urinary system may be one that we overlook. Who hasn't experienced I have to go to the bathroom and I have to go right now. So this urgency of having to urinate. And then we kind of like just forget about it. It's just what happens in a daily routine. So you may even have had a problem where you've had an accident of some sort. I can remember when my first son was born and my water broke, and it was like, oh my goodness, I wet my pants, but it wasn't, of course, it was the natural process of childbirth. So let me get my slide going here. There we go. And you may not see this, but it's in my way. There we go. So the urinary system is one of 4 eliminative channels that help get rid of our toxins, the toxins that we acquire through different metabolic processes. And we will talk next month about the respiratory system that helps us eliminate toxic gases. So this in other videos, I've also talked about the colon. And of course, that's our main eliminative channel. But that doesn't leave the urinary system any less important. I've talked about, referred to like the skin and things like that. And the skin is our largest eliminative organ. But the urinary system is so very important. It's one of the critical but often overlooked key systems for health. Actually, it is the one most overlooked until we have a problem with it. So it filters acid waste from metabolism. It eliminates toxins. It maintains fluid and mineral balance. And so that means, like, if we're retaining fluid, then we need to check it out. So, and it helps regulate blood pressure. Now, this is one thing you won't hear from a medical doctor, that perhaps you need to pay more attention to the urinary system, that you're not drinking enough water, or there's a lot of other things. And it helps produce vitamin D and red blood cells. So let's talk about that. So we obviously understand that we get vitamin D from the sun, and our skin absorbs it and turns it into D2. Now, after it turns into D2, it has to go to the liver to be processed to D3. So that's why it really is much more effective if you're supplementing. You take the vitamin D in the form of D3 so that you're not taxing your liver to create the right kind of D. Now that D3 goes to the kidneys and produces D4. Now you can't take D4, it has to be processed through the kidneys. And if the kidneys aren't healthy, that's not going to happen. So we know that vitamin D is so important, over 400 functions in the body. And so just that one little element, we can understand the importance of the urinary system. Now, of course, the Chinese are way ahead of us. For 5,000 years, they've talked about the water element, as being the foundation of life. It houses the Jing. Now, the Jing, or life essence, determines your lifespan. So I think people who are interested in anti-aging and trying to hold that off as quickly as possible need to hear this video. So if you have some friends that are into making the best out of their life, then please share this video with them. Now, when we look at the water system, we see how it integrates with the other systems to prevent premature aging. It builds the bones and helps maintain a healthy structural system. So in other words, it creates the foundation of life. So the body fluids, the blood and lymph, must maintain a slightly alkaline state, so 7.4. And we know that the body is engineered to maintain that in the blood no matter what, but it isn't that effective in doing so with the urinary system. So acid is generated as the body removes electrons from food for energy. So in this metabolic process of obtaining energy, it's important that the kidneys are functioning well and that we can keep that pH right in here where it needs to be. Whenever you think of acid, think inflammation and also pain. So water and structural health. The kidneys must have an adequate supply of water to filter acid and toxins. You need to be drinking water to wash away the acids. If the acid isn't being properly diluted and filtered, the body uses alkaline minerals like calcium, magnesium, and potassium to buffer acid. Now, I really wanted to put in here about taking something that interferes with stomach acid, because we need acid in the stomach. If we don't have enough acid in the stomach, the food is not going to get broken down and it's going to rot. And so these proton pump inhibitors actually contribute to poor digestion and poor utilization of food. So there are other videos that talk about digestion. And if you want to know more about that, I would encourage you to check out my YouTube channel on videos that talk about digestion. So that's all I'm going to say about that, because it really, I could go on and get distracted in that part. So this depletes mineral stores and weakens the structural system. So just like if you're a gardener, you know you need to have certain minerals in the soil or your plants aren't going to grow. So to end this particular slide, let's say drink half your body weight in ounces of water daily. And if you can make that water the best, no chlorine, no fluoride, that's great. So here's some warning signs for urinary system. You can see the puffiness here, right? So swelling or edema anywhere, swollen, damp tongue. So that's, if you look at your tongue and it kind of like is more than your teeth can enclose, then that's a sign that you're holding on to water. Afternoon sluggishness, frequent back pain, the swelling under the eyes, scant urination, frequent urination, burning or painful urination. And I am an iridologist. I study eyes. I think that they're very intuitive. It helps me understand a little bit about the person. But acid eye or uric acid diathesis. So let's look at, now this is going to actually occur mostly in a blue eye. For some reason, blue-eyed people have more of a tendency to hang on to acid. So you can, the first thing you look at this, yes, it's a blue eye, but look at all the white in the blue eye. And white raised fibers in an iris signify a tendency in overly acid system. So if you're a blue-eyed person, you can go to the mirror and look at your eye and see, is there an overwhelming cast of white in the eye? But this puts stress on the urinary system, this acid type of look to the eye. So it also creates an increased risk for arthritis and osteoporosis because those are acid driven. Now, uric acid, look at even more white. You can hardly see the blue for the white. Uric acid diathesis iris pattern. This is an iris pattern that signifies a genetic tendency to have problems filtering uric acid waste. So what does that tell you? Okay, then you've got to be really good about drinking your water and some of the other hints that we're going to give you. So this can increase the risk of gout, arthritis, kidney stones, and osteoporosis. So if you want to head these off at the pass, so to speak, you'll drink more water right off. Now, some general aids for overacidity. So drink your body, half your body weight in ounces of as pure water as you can. Now, people ask me about, what about alkaline water? I really think these other situations are more important than drinking alkaline water. Now, if you get relief from taking alkaline water, that's okay. But avoid soda pop and coffee because you're introducing acid. Eat smaller amounts of animal proteins, especially meat, like 2 to 3 ounces. Basically, that's perfect. And that can be each meal. That doesn't have to be over the day. It, 2 to 3 ounces is a pretty good amount of protein. You want to eat more vegetables and fruits. And there's some specific remedies like black cherry juice. We know that unsweetened black cherry juice can help. Nettle leaf is another one. Now, if you grow nettle or if you run into nettle, it stings. So it's often referred to as stinging nettle, but it's a fabulous herb for the bladder and the entire urinary system. Now, there's a Chinese water increasing formula, KBC, solving specific urinary problems. So, edema, water retention, swelling in the tissues can be a sign of serious problems like congestive heart failure. A lot of times the hands get so swollen that you can't easily move them. Obtain a proper medical diagnosis. So really, if you're struggling with this situation, you really need to get a medical exam, find out what's going on. Doesn't mean that you have to buy into all their meds, but at least know what's going on. Then maybe you can work with a functional doctor that will use some meds, some herbs, with the idea in hand that you control it with herbs. So herbal diuretics can be used in place of diuretic drugs, which often deplete the body of potassium. So see if your doctor will work with you on this. Many diuretic herbs supply potassium and have other positive benefits. And a lot of times medical doctors simply don't know. They're not educated in herbal supplements. So stimulating diuretics provide a slight irritation to the kidneys. So in other words, you got kind of lazy kidneys. They're just, they've been told too often, wait, 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 wait. And then finally they're just done and they figure what they need to do is wait. So you need to stimulate those to make them urinate. So it's helpful when kidney function is sluggish and needs a temporary boost. So this is not something you'd want to be on for a long period of time. So juniper berry, bushu, uva ursi, and parsley are great. This is juniper. I personally have used juniper on occasion. Now, tonifying diuretics, this means they tone the urinary system, help to improve urinary function without irritating the kidneys. They're best for long-term use when the urinary system is already irritated. So they're basically used to calm the urinary system. Nettle leaf and root, dandelion leaf and root. So really, in the spring, if you're experiencing a lot of dandelions in your yard, maybe you ought to take the hint that it's time to do a kidney cleanse and do a lot of dandelion tea. I don't do the root because, man, is that hard to clean. So I will do the dandelion leaf. I will do the flower. It's really a wonderful free herb that you can use. Goldenrod cleavers. Cleavers are like Velcro. I had some growing and they're kind of fun, but they're pretty annoying too, because when you pull them, they've got this very thin root and they'll snap and grow again. But I've made tinctures out of cleavers to help with urinary, to calm the urinary system. Corn silk, I just recently did a great little video. I think it's like 10 minutes. You need to watch that because that's one of the things. It's a free herb we throw away, and there are tremendous benefits in corn silk. Eucommia bark, that's what this is. This is eucommia bark. Morinda. Oh, do I love Morinda. Now, Morinda citrifolia juice contains unique phytonutrients and antioxidants. Phytonutrients nourish the body's cells, organs, and tissues. They also fight free radical damage caused by harmful chemicals. So if you've had some chemical exposure, or you've had to take some medication, drinking some nature's noni juice can really help to tone up this system. It's helpful for the skin, healthy joints, and a general feeling of well-being. So years of native use suggest that the many benefits of the Morinda fruit come from these phytonutrients, antioxidants, and its other physiologically unique ingredients. So adults can take 2 tablespoons a day. So marvelous juice. Decreasing lymphatic congestion. Now, when the lymphatics are congested, your immune system is not going to function really well. So there is 2 little bottles called kidney drainage and lymphatic drainage. And these products work together. You do 20 drops of each in a bottle of water and you sip on it throughout the day. And what this does is throughout the day, you're cleansing and moving this system, because the lymphatic system dumps into the urinary system. So you can also make a tea with nettle leaf, dandelion leaf cleavers, and peppermint. I made a tincture of those. It was wonderful. So urinary tract infections, urine is sterile. There is no bacteria in urine. As much as people think that, urine is nasty, full of bacteria and all, it isn't. So infections occur when bacteria migrate up the urethra to the bladder. Now, women have more UTIs than men because their urethra is shorter and closer to the anus. So being very vigilant in the way you wipe is really, really important. So, and bladder infections can be fungal. Some women have noticed that after intercourse, they will get an irritation. So sometimes douching, sometimes just even doing a flow of water, like in Europe. So UTI prevention. Now, obviously, if you've ever had a bladder infection or cystitis in any way, it is the most painful thing that I know that I've experienced. I've actually gone to the phase where I was urinating blood, and it is painful. So keeping this area clean is important for prevention. Drinking cranberry juice has been shown to inhibit bacteria from clinging to the urinary passages. So it makes the urinary passages like Teflon. So stuff doesn't stick to it. So like my husband has had twice a situation with kidney stones, and it's like a snowflake raking across the vessels. So it is extremely painful. So using unsweetened cranberry juice or an encapsulated cranberry juice product daily can reduce the risk of the infection taking hold. So now UTI treatments. Several herbs are helpful for the treatment of UTIs like Uti or berberine, or herbs with berberine like golden seal, Oregon grape, barberry, coptis. By the way, look at this delicate little flower. It almost looks like a bladder of sorts. This is Uti, juniper berry, bushu. Severe infections may require antibiotics. I mean, there are times when maybe you just can't get away from it. So urinary tract inflammation. So this is, remember, whenever you see the word itis at the end of something, it means inflammation. So you have cystitis, which is inflammation of the bladder. Urethritis is inflammation of the urethra, the tube that drains the urine from the bladder. Nephritis is inflammation of the kidneys. So inflammation can cause burning or scalding pain while urinating, back pain, and a frequent urge to urinate. So here's corn silk, remedies for urinary inflammation. So corn silk, very, very soothing. Marshmallow, very soothing. It's a mucilin herb that really calms. Cleavers are very calming. Pain relieving. Kava kava has been known because kava kava is it kind of numbs the organs, so or that which it gets in contact with. So it's an interesting herb. It's like your fully functioning brain. It doesn't affect your brain at all, but your muscles may like be mush. Easing urgency. Pepsesua is something I'm not all that familiar with. Schizandra is considered a 5 fruit, so it has all the fruit, like sour and bitter and sweet. It has all of them. It's really interesting. Taking a berry and put it in your mouth and you kind of swish it around and you get all those different flavors. It's a delight. So urinary incontinence is considered enuresis, and it's a weakness of the bladder, the sphincter muscle, which causes involuntary urination. So in other words, your brain tells you have to go to the bathroom, but boom, as soon as you stand up or whatever, it's there. Astringents may help tone the sphincter muscle. I've also found that doing the exercises of pulling in the pelvis and relaxing, and then pulling it in and relaxing, and pulling it in and relax. So every time you urinate after you void, do that 5 times. Tighten, relax, tighten, relax. And that helps to tone the muscles there as well. Uversi is a very astringent herb, horsetail, and agrimony. And then also that Chinese water increasing formula, KBC, is very beneficial. So now we have bedwetting and urinating at night. Young children also have trouble urinating, controlling urination during the nighttime. The sphincter muscle isn't fully developed. I don't know if you can show them how to do that tightening and toning exercise. The other factor with children is fear. Blood sugar. So in other words, don't have dessert just before going to bed. And then there are some people that can have allergies that, they have a dairy allergy and they have ice cream before they go to bed. So you need to be a little detective about what could be contributing to the bedwetting. And then steroidal medications will cause frequent urination. So what happens with the adrenals sit right on top of the kidneys. And when you take steroidal medication, it's doing this. And so it stimulating the adrenal glands to produce hormones and that. And so what you need to do is try to get a lot of water during the day to flush out those toxins. Try to do some calming things. You can do lavender, you can do different essential oils that help to calm you at night, especially. If you're dealing with frequent urination, you really need to tell your doctor that you think it's a result of the steroidal medication and work toward getting off of that. So remedies for nighttime urination: avoid sugar foods before bedtime or near bedtime. Eat a small amount of protein. So some people will do like peanut butter on celery, or some little thing like that to help them get them through the night. So sometimes it is a blood sugar drop, and then it really needs to be addressed. That you need to, especially with children, that maybe they eat at 6 o'clock and maybe they can't go till 7 the next morning. So a little protein snack before they go to bed is probably a good idea. And then for adults, I have found this nervous fatigue formula to be so beneficial. It calms the nervous system down so that it's not zinging on top of the bladder or the kidneys all night long, sending stimulating signals through them. A lot of times it has schizandra and biota in it. Magnesium has been helpful. Astragalus is very wonderful calming herb. Schizandra is also very calming. Licorice root, because it helps to feed the adrenals, has been beneficial to a lot of people. You have to be careful if you're taking blood pressure medication. Asparagus root is very good. And like I said, essential oils like lavender diffused to create a calming atmosphere at night. Kidney stones, caused by precipitation of minerals in the urine, particularly calcium. And you can see they don't look like little balls. They are crystals, and they can be painful. They actually can cause bleeding as they travel down the urethra. So some people are genetically prone to them. Remember the looking at the eye, and that's a great indication. Family history, of course, is also, but they are painful to pass. So of course you want to prevent them. So avoid foods that significantly increase urinary oxalate, including nuts, especially peanuts, chocolate, and tea. Now, a lot of people will talk about spinach and all these other different things, but first of all, I think you should look at strengthening the kidneys before you eliminate wonderful foods. Avoid caffeine, and carbonated beverages are the worst. So take magnesium and vitamin B6. Now, you may have this particular genetic thing where you need to have a methylated B6 that you're not metabolizing it. And Sunshine has a wonderful methylated B complex. So don't take calcium supplements, especially calcium carbonate or Tums. Oh my goodness. I can't tell you how many people have taken Tums and ended up with kidney stones. You simply cannot do that. And they in these humongous jugs from Costco. It's like, oh my goodness, that would be a sure thing for kidney stones. Now you want to drink plenty of water, half your body weight in ounces of the best water that you can actually put in your body. People used to get really upset about the fact that they had to pay for water. Well, get a water purifying unit if that bothers you. So passing kidney stones, there's a recipe that you can do. Mix the juice of 4 fresh lemons in a gallon of distilled water, and it can be reverse osmosis water, and drink while fasting. So in other words, you're not eating anything, you're simply doing this water treatment. And you want to take 4 capsules of hydrangea. Now, hydrangea has been known as the herbal stone solvent. So it really helps to dissolve, especially kidney stones, but I've had people dissolve gallstones as well with hydrangea. Now, you want to do this every 2 to 4 hours. If you're struggling with it, do it every 2 hours for a while, and then you can back off to 4 hours. Now, you also want to use lobelia or kava kava to relax urinary passages and ease the pain. And you can do lobelia topically if you want to. Add some lavender to it. I've also used Nature Sunshine has a great CBD pain cream that you rub on your low back. Your kidneys are like take where your women, where your brow line is. So they're just below that. So marshmallow and corn silk can be used to soothe urinary membranes while the stone passes. So drinking the corn silk tea is another way to help deal with it. Now, guys, prostatitis and BPH. In males, the prostate sits just under the bladder, surrounding the urethra. Prostatitis is inflammation of the prostate, which causes it to swell. Well, you got this donut, and the hole is closing up. And what goes through that hole is your urethra. So you can void, and then a half hour later, you still feel like you have to go to the bathroom. So this benign prostate hypertrophy or hyperplasia is what that's called, the enlargement of the prostate. And it both constricts the urethra, making urination difficult, and one feels like it can't fully void. You can't just get that urine out. And it's true, because it can back up and then it gets irritated. And so remedies for prostatitis or BPH, nettle root is one of the best. The nutrients in nettle is so nourishing for the prostate. Pygeum bark, saw palmetto, white sage, zinc. Every time a man ejaculates, he loses zinc. So men really need zinc. Omega-3 essential fatty acids is really important. And S equal, let's talk about equilibrium. My goodness, I have had a lot of happy men that have started to use equilibrium. So the story behind equilibrium is, first of all, your body produces equal. And as we age, it stops the production of equal. Now, equal helps to balance out the bad testosterone and get rid of it and allow the good testosterone to flow. And then you have healthy erections, you have just healthy male reproductive system. So this equal stops producing around age 45. And so by the age 50 to 80, you end up with prostate concerns, and it can interrupt sleep. It is dreadful. So clinical tests provided excellent results as to equilibrium's ability to support healthy prostate function and urinary flow. So equal's unique DHT binding ability protects the prostate without triggering the side effects that may be caused by enzyme blocking products. So now if you went to the medical doctor, they would put you on this enzyme blocking product, which unfortunately you need some of the things this product also blocks. And so it diminishes your testosterone and your manhood, basically. So you really, this is an excellent, excellent product. And I hope that you share this video with the men in your life. So kidney weakness, Chinese indications for kidney or qi deficiency include arthritis, osteoporosis, low back pain, weakness in the lower extremities, premature gray hair. These can be early warning signs that the kidney needs support. So, and we just shrug them off, you know. Kidney or renal failure. Progressive kidney failure may not produce any symptoms in the initial stages. Symptoms can include weakness, lethargy, edema, anemia, fatigue, loss of appetite, and shortness of breath, which one would not really associate with kidney because they would think lung. So the body becomes increasingly acidic, which can lead to congestive heart failure, or arrhythmia, tachycardia, and fibrillation. Medically treated with dialysis and or a kidney transplant. So obviously strengthening the kidneys is the better thing. So eat a diet with lots of fresh fruits and vegetables, particularly celery, parsley, and other potassium-rich greens. Again, how many slides did you see this in? Eliminate soda pop and reduce consumption of animal proteins to 2 to 3 ounces per serving. excuse me, you want to avoid food additives and chemicals. So look at what you're eating and make sure you're not consuming a bunch of chemicals. Do organic, grow your own. It is so worth it. Herbal kidney support. Now, right now, autumn, we're seeing a plethora of this beautiful goldenrod herb along the highways. Nettle seed, leaf, and root. Parsley again. Morinda, remember the drink that I talked about. Dandelion leaf in the springtime. Do some dandelion leaf cleansing. Eucomia. And Chinese water increasing formula, again, KBC. The specific aids for renal failure is, of course, low, maybe no protein. Drink water, not chlorinated, and preferably spring purified water, half your body weight in ounces. Use nettle seed or a blend of the nettle seed, leaf, and root. Apply charcoal poultices over the kidneys to help draw out the toxins. Take sweat baths to reduce the load on the kidneys. Remember, it is one of the eliminative channels. And of course, if the colon isn't functioning well, I would start with the colon, but then also doing some sweat baths, do saunas, those type of things help sweat out the fluids through the skin. Now we have to talk about the impact of fear. This 18 months to 2 years now, we have been inundated with fear. The fear that was put upon us by the media, you could not turn on the TV or anything without inundating you with some sort of fear. Fear is an energy that seems to affect the urinary system. I wet my pants. I was so scared I wet my pants. How often did you hear that? It's a matter of fact. So this remedy, this distress remedy, helps energetically. So it moves it through energy to regain the balance we had before the fear. It centers us and it says, let's get back to common sense. We do not need to fear. And if you believe in God and you know that everything's going to be all right. It works for children. It works on adults. It works on people who have Alzheimer's. It works on animals. I have seen it where they rub it on the pads of the animals and their little feet, and you can just see them. Animals that are dealing with abandonment, animals that are dealing with fireworks or noises like that. It's marvelous. You can put it in their water and have them lap it up. It's just marvelous. It is a glycerin base, so there's no alcohol. So it works great for children, infants. I put it on the bottoms of their feet and rubbed it in. It gets absorbed and you can see them relaxing. It's just a marvel. It should be in everybody's first aid kit. I have it in several places in my home because you never know when something's going to happen that impacts the entire family and causes fear. So it is considered a vibrational medicine, and to me, it is some of the best medicine around, and it's so mild. So I hope you've enjoyed this class on this very important eliminative system of the body. Watch that video on corn silk. I think you'll enjoy it. It's only like 10 minutes. So we have been so inundated with fear of this COVID thing, please, I urge you to turn off that information. It is doing you no good. I've created a Bug on the Windshield Facebook group. I encourage you to go there for health and refocus, because we have been dangling with the new shiny item of fear every corner that we turn. And we need to get off the fear wagon and start living our life the way we need to protect our health and our happiness. So many of us have allowed someone else to direct our attention, and we are climbing the wrong ladder. So getting rid of toxins can be getting rid of toxic language, toxic people. So check out Bug on a Rug, or Bug on the Windshield. So I'll leave a link in the description below for a coupon for some of the products that I talked about today. And you can look into purchasing those for yourself and your family. Please share this class with other people. It's such an important topic. And if you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. Check my website, Born for Health, out for different information and how to join our Bug on a Windshield group. There's tons of healthful information, and because I love sharing natural remedies with people. So until next time, this is Dr. Mary at For the Health of It.